Ladies and gentlemen, most people never reach their full potential, not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunities, but because they refuse to push themselves beyond their comfort zone. If you wait until you feel ready, you will never take action. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you will never start. Success, growth, and transformation require one thing. You must force yourself. Force yourself to get up. Force yourself to keep going. Force yourself to believe when doubt is screaming in your mind. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not talent, not intelligence, but the ability to push through resistance and do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. The greatest enemy of your potential is comfort. Comfort is deceptive because it feels good, but it steals your future. Most people don't realize that the comfort they enjoy today may be the very thing holding them back from the greatness they were designed for. Life has a way of tricking us into believing that if we just stay where we are, if we just keep doing what we've always done, then things will be okay. But nothing grows in comfort. Comfort is the enemy of progress, the enemy of purpose, the enemy of transformation. If you want to step into the fullness of your destiny, you must be willing to break free from comfort. And breaking free is not easy. It requires force. It requires you to push yourself beyond the limitations that feel safe, beyond the routines that keep you stagnant, beyond the mindset that tells you this is enough. Because the truth is, what you settle for today is what you will live with tomorrow. Most people are trapped in a cycle of mediocrity, not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they refuse to force themselves beyond what feels easy. Look at your life right now. Look at your habits, your choices, your routines. Ask yourself, are you truly living to your full potential, or have you allowed yourself to settle? Have you allowed yourself to believe that this is all there is for you? Have you convinced yourself that you can't go further, that you can't achieve more, that you can't rise higher? Because the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the next level of your life is your willingness to push beyond your current state. The people who succeed in life are not always the smartest, not always the most talented, not always the ones with the best opportunities. They are the ones who force themselves to do what others are unwilling to do. They're the ones who wake up early when others are sleeping, who keep working when others have given up, who push through pain, who push through rejection, who push through disappointment. They force themselves forward because they understand that greatness does not come to those who wait for it. It comes to those who chase after it with everything they have. The challenge with most people is that they live by their emotion. They let their feelings determine their actions. If they feel tired, they stop. If they feel discouraged, they quit. If they feel afraid, they hesitate. And because of this, they remain stuck in the same place for years, watching others move forward while they remain behind. But if you want to reach your full potential, you cannot live by your emotions. Emotions are temporary. Emotions are unreliable. Emotions will tell you to stay in bed when you should be working. Emotions will tell you to give up when you are only one step away from a breakthrough. Emotions will tell you that it's too hard, that it's not worth it, that you should just accept life as it is. But the people who make a difference in this world are the ones who have learned to act despite their emotions. They don't let feelings dictate their destiny. They make decisions based on where they are going, not on how they feel in the moment. They understand that feelings come and go, but discipline, consistency, and effort are what create real change. Every time you push yourself beyond your feelings, you get stronger. Every time you force yourself to do what is necessary instead of what is easy, you grow. Every time you say no to laziness, no to excuses, no to distractions, you step closer to becoming the person you were created to be. But this will not happen automatically. No one will do it for you. No one will come and wake you up in the morning and tell you to chase your dreams. No one will come and remove distractions from your life. No one will come and force you to use your time wisely. You must do it yourself. You must be the one who says, enough is enough. I refuse to settle. I refuse to let another day pass without making progress. I refuse to let another year go by without stepping into my potential. Because the truth is, if you don't take responsibility for your own growth, no one else will. If you don't force yourself to rise, you will remain where you are. Look at any successful person and you will see one thing in common. They did not wait for the right moment. They did not wait for motivation. They did not wait for someone to push them. They forced themselves to take action. They forced themselves to be disciplined. They forced themselves to work when they didn't feel like it. They forced themselves to keep going when everything in them wanted to stop. They understood that their destiny depended on their decisions, not on their emotions. They understood that the only way to get to the next level was to push beyond their comfort zone. Too many people are waiting for inspiration, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to believe in them. But waiting will not change your life. Waiting will not make your dreams a reality. Waiting will not bring you success. You must move. You must take action. You must force yourself to start, even when you feel unprepared. You must force yourself to keep going even when progress seems slow. You must force yourself to push through obstacles even when everything in you wants to quit, because life will not hand you success. Life will not give you greatness. Life will not reward you for potential. It only rewards action. If you keep waiting until you feel ready, you will never do anything. If you keep waiting until you feel comfortable, you will never grow. If you keep waiting until you feel strong, you will never step into your purpose. The time is now. The decision is yours. No one can force you to rise. No one can force you to succeed. No one can force you to become who you were created to be. But you can. You can force yourself to break free from limitations. You can force yourself to reject every excuse. You can force yourself to wake up with determination, to work with passion, to live with purpose. Because at the end of your life, you will not regret the chances you took, the challenges you faced, the struggles you overcame. You will regret the moments when you knew you should have pushed harder, but you didn't. You will regret the days when you had the opportunity to rise, but you chose to stay the same. You will regret the dreams you let die because you were too afraid to step into the unknown. So make a decision today. Right now, decide that you will no longer wait. Decide that you will no longer settle. Decide that you will no longer let your feelings control your future. Force yourself to move. Force yourself to grow. Force yourself to take action, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels impossible, because your future depends on it. Your purpose depends on it. Your destiny depends on it. And if you are willing to push, if you are willing to fight, if you are willing to force yourself beyond your limits, you will step into the greatness that was always meant to be yours. Discipline is the foundation of success. It is what separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. It is the bridge between desire and reality, between intention and manifestation. But discipline is not something that happens naturally. It is not something that comes easily. It is something that must be forced, something that must be cultivated, something that must be developed through consistent action, even when it is difficult, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it feels impossible. Most people admire success, they admire greatness, they admire discipline in others, but they are not willing to do what it takes to achieve it for themselves. They see athletes performing at the highest level. They see leaders standing in positions of influence. They see innovators transforming industries. But they do not see the years of discipline, the years of pushing, the years of forcing themselves to do what others were unwilling to do. And that is the secret. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who forced themselves to keep going when others gave up. Most people want success, but they do not want to pay the price for it. They want financial freedom, but they do not want to discipline themselves to manage their money wisely. They want to be healthy, but they do not want to discipline themselves to eat right and exercise consistently. They want strong relationships, but they do not want to discipline themselves to invest time, effort, and commitment into their connections with others. They want to be leaders, but they do not want to discipline themselves to learn, to grow, to develop the skills necessary to lead. And this is why so many people remain stuck, not because they lack potential, not because they lack opportunity, but because they refuse to force themselves to be disciplined. They allow laziness to control them. They allow distractions to consume them. They allow their own excuses to defeat them before they even begin. But if you want to achieve something great, you must make a decision to force yourself to be disciplined. You must make a commitment to do what needs to be done, not just when you feel like it, not just when it's convenient, but every single day, without compromise, without excuses, without hesitation. Look at your own life. Look at the things you say you want to achieve. Look at the dreams you have been carrying inside you for years. Now ask yourself, have you been disciplined enough to make them a reality? Have you forced yourself to wake up earlier, to work harder, to stay focused, to be consistent? Or have you allowed distractions, procrastination, and excuses to steal your progress? Because the truth is, your future is being shaped by what you do today. Every moment of discipline brings you one step closer to your goals, and every moment of weakness takes you one step further away. Every time you choose to force yourself to do what is necessary, you build the foundation for your success. But every time you choose to take the easy route, to give into laziness, to allow your emotions to dictate your actions, you are setting yourself up for regret. And regret is one of the heaviest burdens to carry. Discipline is not about motivation. Motivation is temporary. Motivation comes and goes. Motivation is what inspires you to start, but it is discipline that determines whether you will finish. You cannot rely on motivation to be successful, because there will be days when you do not feel like working. There will be days when you do not feel like pushing. There will be days when everything in you wants to quit. And in those moments, motivation will not save you. It will be discipline that makes the difference. Discipline is what will get you out of bed when you want to sleep. Discipline is what will keep you working when distractions are calling your name. Discipline is what will keep you committed when the process gets hard. And the only way to develop that level of discipline is to force yourself to be consistent, force yourself to show up, force yourself to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Every great person you admire is where they are because they forced themselves to be disciplined. The greatest athletes did not reach their level of excellence by practicing only when they felt like it. They forced themselves to train every single day, even when they were exhausted, even when they were in pain, even when they wanted to quit. The most successful entrepreneurs did not build their businesses by working only when it was convenient. They forced themselves to stay focused, to take risks, to make sacrifices, to keep going even when they failed. The most influential leaders did not rise to their positions by waiting for opportunities to come to them. They forced themselves to learn, to grow, to step into difficult situations, to embrace responsibility. And if you want to reach the next level in your life, you must do the same. You must force yourself to develop discipline in every area of your life. You must force yourself to wake up earlier, to work harder, to train your mind, to control your habits, to eliminate distraction, to stay focused on your goals. The problem with most people is that they allow their environment to shape their level of discipline. If they're around people who are lazy, they become lazy. If they are in an environment of excuses, they start making excuses. If they are surrounded by distractions, they allow themselves to be distracted. But you cannot allow your surroundings to dictate your discipline. You must take control. You must decide that no matter where you are, no matter who is around you, no matter what challenges you face, you will be disciplined. You will do what needs to be done. You will stay focused. You will remain committed, because discipline is not about what is happening around you. And when you develop the inner strength to force yourself to be disciplined, nothing can stop you. Many people look at successful individuals and assume that they have something special, something different, something that others do not have. But the truth is, the only difference between those who succeed and those who fail is discipline. The ability to stay committed when others quit. The ability to push forward when others stop. The ability to force themselves to do what is necessary, even when it is hard, even when it is painful, even when it seems impossible. And the good news is, discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you develop. It is something you train. It is something you build step by step, day by day, decision by decision. And the more you force yourself to be disciplined, the stronger you become, the more resilient you become, the more unstoppable you become. At the end of your life, you will not regret the sacrifices you made for your dreams. You will not regret the early mornings, the long hours, the moments when you forced yourself to keep going when everything in you wanted to quit. You will not regret the discipline it took to build something great. But you will regret the moments when you could have pushed harder, but you didn't. You will regret the opportunities you let slip away because you are not disciplined enough to take action. You will regret the dreams you never pursued because you allowed laziness, procrastination, and excuses to control you. That is why you must make a decision today, right now, that you will no longer let anything stop you from being disciplined. No more waiting, no more excuses, no more distractions. You must force yourself to be disciplined in every area of your life. Force yourself to take action. Force yourself to be consistent. Force yourself to stay focused, because success is not for those who want it. It is for those who are disciplined enough to earn it. And if you are willing to force yourself to be disciplined, there is nothing that can stop you from achieving the greatness you are created for. Growth is never comfortable. It is not something that happens naturally, nor is it something that happens passively. Growth requires effort, intention, and most importantly, the willingness to push beyond what feels easy. If you want to reach the next level in your life, you must be willing to force yourself to grow. You must force yourself to expand your thinking, to increase your knowledge, to develop new skills, to embrace challenges that stretch you. The truth is, most people want to grow, but they do not want to go through the discomfort that growth requires. They want the rewards of growth, but they do not want to experience the struggle that comes with it. They want to be better, but they do not want to go through the process of becoming better. And because of this, they remain stuck. They remain trapped in cycles of stagnation, watching others move forward while they stay in the same place. The greatest limitation to your growth is not your background, not your circumstances, not your resources. It is your willingness to push beyond your current level. If you refuse to force yourself to grow, you will stay the same. Your mindset will stay the same, your knowledge will stay the same, your capacity will stay the same, and as a result, your life will stay the same. But the moment you make a decision to push beyond what is comfortable, to challenge yourself, to stretch yourself, that is the moment you begin to grow into the person you were created to be. Growth does not happen automatically. No one wakes up one day and suddenly becomes wiser, stronger, or more capable. Growth is intentional. It must be forced. It must be pursued with determination. It must be cultivated with discipline. Think about a tree. A tree does not stop growing simply because it has reached a certain height. It continues to stretch, continues to expand, continues to push deeper into the soil for strength. Why? Because the moment a tree stops growing, it starts dying. The same is true for you. The moment you stop growing, you begin to decline. The moment you stop learning, you start becoming irrelevant. The moment you start pushing yourself, you start losing momentum. And this is why so many people fail to reach their full potential, not because they do not have the ability, but because they refuse to force themselves to grow beyond where they are. They settle for what they know. They settle for what is familiar. They settle for what feels easy. But settling is the enemy of progress. Settling is the enemy of purpose. If you settle for where you are, you will never become who you are meant to be. There is a difference between existing and living. Many people go through life simply existing. They wake up, go through their routines, follow the same patterns, and never challenge themselves to grow. They are alive, but they are not truly living. Living requires growth. Living requires stepping into the unknown. Living requires taking risks, facing challenges, embracing change. And if you want to truly live, if you want to truly experience the fullness of your potential, you must force yourself to grow. You must force yourself to think differently. You must force yourself to step outside of your comfort zone. You must force yourself to challenge the limits you have placed on yourself. Growth will demand that you let go of certain things. It will demand that you let go of limiting belief. It will demand that you let go of bad habits. It will demand that you let go of people who hold you back. Because not everything that is part of your life right now is meant to go with you to the next level. Some relationships, some environments, some mindsets will only keep you stuck. And if you are serious about growing, you must be willing to let go of anything that is hindering your progress. You must be willing to release what no longer serves you so that you can embrace what will elevate you. Growth will also require that you embrace discomfort. It will require that you do things that scare you. It will require that you take on challenges that seem bigger than you. It will require that you step into opportunities that stretch you. And at first, it will feel uncomfortable. It will feel overwhelming. It will feel difficult. But that is the price of growth. That is the price of becoming the best version of yourself. Every great person you admire today went through seasons of discomfort to get to where they are. They did not arrive at success easily. They pushed, they stretched, they forced themselves to grow even when it was painful. And if you want to achieve greatness, you must do the same. You cannot afford to remain the same person year after year. You cannot afford to live below your potential. You cannot afford to let another day pass without growing, because every day you refuse to grow is a day you waste. Every moment you avoid challenge is a moment you lose. Every opportunity you ignore because it seems too difficult is an opportunity you will never get back. You must force yourself to grow now. You must make the decision today that you will not settle, that you will not stay the same, that you will not allow fear, laziness, or excuses to hold you back. At the end of your life, you will not regret the challenges you faced. You will not regret the struggles you endured. You will not regret the moments when you forced yourself to grow. But you will regret the times you chose to stay the same. You will regret the times you avoided growth because it was uncomfortable. You will regret the opportunities you let pass because you were too afraid to step up. You will regret the moments when you could have become better, but you didn't. That is why you must act now. That is why you must take control of your growth today. No one can force you to grow. No one can make you become better. No one can push you into your purpose. That responsibility is yours. You must decide, you must commit, you must push, because your future depends on it, your success depends on it, your destiny depends on it. And if you are willing to force yourself to grow, to stretch, to embrace discomfort, then there is nothing that can stop you from becoming everything you were created to be.